route, then, as Chantel was saying, they have great burst if they do opt for the Kadita. But still, even with that, Faramis can work.
There it is.
Again, like we saw, because we didn't get to see Faramis last week, and now that he's had this, reappearance, now that he's being able to be played here, you can see, again, how just powerful Faramis is in the team composition, especially when you're relying on, when you have a Claude here, you have an Arlott, there's so much setup potential that you might feel like there's a little bit of lack of magic damage here, right, with a Faramis that is going to be parked in that mid lane. And you're really relying on the scaling of the Claude to go forward.
Not unless for ONIC, they want to go for the late game, but it's going to be difficult knowing that they have the Farsa on the other side. And Rockert actually mentioned earlier that there might be a Hanzo.
Come on, do it!
Why not? They're looking for points. They want points. But it's going to be, it's going to be Grok. So it's interesting to see actually for TNC that this might be a King Kong hero. We don't usually see a King Kong with this type of heroes. We usually see Grok on the XP lane. It's going to be interesting. But the thing here is that if you have the Grok on the jungler role, it means that they're really up for the objective taking.
Which is also exactly what ONIC does, right? ONIC, Sensui.
I was going to say, this is like a Sensui pick.
What's that about?
Well, look.
Whoa.
Well, I'll tell you what. The talents seem to have been swayed yesterday.
I would say consecutive to always. I'm starting to get on the train,
Well, we're
against
already
the world champion.
Against the world champion.
I don't know if you're starting to get on the train or you're already there, because it looks like we're already along for the ride. So we'll see. Again, as we take a last look here of both teams' lineup for ONIC Philippines and TNC, like you guys mentioned, this is actually it's going to be interesting to see exactly how this Grok is utilized on King Kong. If he's able to play it against someone who kind of made this pick in the jungle known, Sensui, as we're taking a look here on the screen.
And again, Fredrin has been picked as a jungler because of the crowd control with the energy eruption. Having Grok up against this Fredrin is a big thing for TNC, so they really have to maximize this edge against them. And if we look at the spells, battle spells, actually, Hesu has the Petrify. As the way Nets is also forced to use the Purify. So it's really more of a calculating on how and when they will use their spells. And anyone can joy, anyone can ride the biyahing, tagong biyahe. It's still the same. TNC still holds the most number of heroes this season.
That's why I wasn't afraid to make bold predictions. And maybe they're gonna go for Hanzo.
You never know.
Jungle Natalia, you can do it. Anything can happen.
Well, again, that's one of their strengths, right? One of the facts is TNC. Given the fact that they took some time to find their footing in the season, they were juggling even players around and roles and whatnot. The fact that they can play those curveball heroes and surprise people around is an advantage that they have. But you're almost kind of wondering, like, man, was it a little bit too late that they found their footing? But even this early aggression is again expected of TNC with the way that they've been playing the past couple weeks here.
But in the way that they're doing this right now with two junglers, two tanks basically roaming. You can't really expect that much damage, especially in the early game. It's going to have to be slowed down because their win condition here is not early. It's not even late.
Yep.
It's mid.
Yeah, that's actually true because we could see marksman heroes that are actually more on the late game. And for Nets, he really has to capitalize the average spell. And again, we've mentioned earlier that we might see a bloodbath in terms of objective taking. Again, this is Fredrin up against King Kong. And it's Sensui versus King Kong on this Grok. So in terms of positioning, it's a nice position for ONIC that they're able to have this HP for Bentings already on half.
Oh, look at this. Benthing's forced to use a flicker out. It's a 4v3 on the first turtle. That's a lot of action, a lot of resources being committed by TNC to stay alive. Here's Hesu who's flying up on the back foot. He found two people. It's going to be King Kong securing the turtle. They're not done yet. Oh, look at Kegadot basically dodging out of the Guardian's barrier. Locks in the Numenon Blast and secures first blood.
It's actually a dance on the turtle. Again, we saw earlier that the Bentings was zoned out by ONIC, but at the same time for TNC, didn't go, they didn't disengage on that objective. Again, they know the capacity of their heroes, and if you look at the gold lead right now, actually Innocent is on the lead in terms of the gold. And the difference here in terms of the items is that he went in for the boots, so there's a movement speed for the guy, and we could see the pants or the leggings. The jeans, sorry.
The legendary pants. But again, these are things that we will not really see in the play right now, as we are seeing a lot of mid-game control being shown here by TNC.
There's some durable pants that he walked in. And, you know, that's the thing, though. You kind of expect this. You already mentioned it, Chantel, the bloodbath of a game, of the series that is needed here for TNC to pull out on top and stay, again, in contention. So, you know, it starts with these minor decisions and how things kind of unfold from here. But this is what we're seeing. You're seeing the back and forth between ONIC Philippines and TNC, especially around even the, you know, the bottom side of the river, now the top side of the river, looking for plays. But at the end of the day, the job here for TNC is protect Innocent, keep him alive, let him farm up. Because realistically, for TNC to catch nets, that's so difficult, especially because it's a Claude,
true.
and then he's got to Purify, right? So, hold on.
Oh man, that's a lot of skills missing actually here from both sides of the Land of Dawn here. I don't think that anyone made what they wanted to do in that engagement, but I think the biggest thing we have to consider is that ONIC, they don't play for the early, they don't play for mid. They want that late game security. Ben Pings. Man, they're really diving in here. Escalera, good damage on the Farsa, will be slowed down by the Cold Ultra, but right now, ONIC just playing on survival mode.
Again, this is a high level of ML play from both our teams. Very disciplined on how they were really disengaged rather against each other. They know that the majority of the skills has been used, but at the same time, they also know the potential of the lineup that they have. But again, we have another turtle objective that is being started here by ONIC.
Wow, that is way too fast. There is no time for TNC to react or send any of their members in. Hesu being dashed in on by Ryota.
You see that? That is not fun to deal with. You're dealing with the Fredrin CC kit plus Ryota using, you know, Final Slash and everything else, the Vengeance, and it's when you get caught in a between a rock and a hard place, basically.
That's a
even
doozy.
if it's even if it's against your own wall here, it's tough to deal with.
And at the same time, actually, for ONIC, during that moment, they also have the Cold Otter here for Super Friends. So a lot of crowd controls here being shown by ONIC. And I kind of feel that for TNC, they have to be a bit slower on how they will really engage. There are moments wherein we could see Hesu really go for the Dragon Form, but at the same time, it's not the perfect timing for that usage of the skill. But still, it is 6 minutes into our game, and ONIC is on the lead, just 600 in terms of the gold. And TNC has the potential to actually turn things around, having the Farsa on the artillery burst in terms of magic damage.
Actually, TNC don't need to be super flashy. Because if you notice, ONIC heroes are very slow and sluggish, right? Yeah. They don't need to make any fancy plays. They just need to go slow but sure. Because they're going fast, but they're missing. Let's see if that's going to be the case here once more, as Benfink is going in. More decisive, I would have to say. But ONIC, they've got more damage here. Surprisingly, because TNC, they're just walking away.
That's the tough part to deal with. Ben Things, hold on, Prince.
Oh, that's a punish. That is an overextension if I've ever seen one.
And again, for ONIC right now, they are aware of the skill set that they have. But with this type of trades from TNC, I kind of feel like they have to be really safe in terms of how they will engage in terms of team fights here against TNC. And the good thing for Ram is because of the stacks.
Yeah,
he's
back right away.
He's back right away. We've been mentioning Super Prince to be dead a few seconds ago, but he's back in action here. And we have another turtle for TNC and even for ONIC. And again, it's all about crowd control here for ONIC Philippines. And be mindful that everyone actually has their ultimates.
Okay, that's a huge commitment on the Ryota just to remove the XP later. But there it is, locked in by the Numinal Blast. King Kong takes it out. But looks like ONIC is going to be the one who takes that turtle.
Okay, so interesting decision there. TNC was looking to contest that. They wanted to get that turtle, but again, this is the power of the Cult Altar, right? It really extends those fights. But already, ONIC Philippines holding on to this lead. Chantel, how's it looking in the item department for them?
Well, actually, in terms of the items, it's a good thing that Super Prince went in for the Enchanted Talisman. He wants to go for that support or utility type of post 4. Whenever there's an opportunity to go for the Shadow Stampede, why not? And for TNC right now, I kind of feel like they need to be really prepared for the damage that Nex could give in on this game. As the way King Kong already built that blade armor. And I had this feeling actually on this game that everyone has to be, prepared whenever there's someone that will come in from the bush, because no one doubts to use the flicker as we've seen from Ben Things.
Yeah, I think Ben Things is like a tiger. He's ready to pounce all the time,
Well, that's how he plays the Kufra. Now, even his eyes are set here at top side. I don't think they're going to be able to find anything, though. There's no wave there. But, when we were comparing, like, Ben Things, Big Game Ben, on the Franco, usually he opts for the Kufra if he can't get the Franco, right? And he plays it very similar, where a lot of times he is putting himself in some of those situations where it might be like, whoa, Ben, what are you doing? But actually it works out for them.
Look at this, BGB for free. He's going to be the ball, though. This time around, he's getting passed around. Where are my teammates? It's like Hesu flying in. He's looking for Kekino. He's looking for someone. Who is it going to be? Nope, ONIC's not going to give you anyone.
And the funny thing here is, after all the skills that have been used by our players, there's no casualty here for both our teams. Again, the respect and discipline is there. And here comes the Lord for this game. It's 9 minutes onto this game, and both of our teams are really disciplined, And we could see Super Prince already with the lightning tension by Wade on the top lane.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's rare for you to see a Claude out damage a Beatrix in the mid game. That is rare, and it's happening right now. I think the Nets is doing a great job in keeping alive here.
It's the pants, man.
The pants.
The pants.
The pants are paying off.
I think he needs the new jeans.
Oh, the new jeans. I love that. Right now, though, Ben Things got caught out. Maybe got too spicy there a little bit for the TNC roamer. As the rest of ONIC, they seem very confident to go in for the Lord this time around.
Oh, they're just going to go ahead and push him out. There's the Cult Altar, though.
Beautifully done. King Kong's
King
low.
Kong?
He can't contest for the Lord with that HP. Sensui will secure it, and Nets gets a kill.
We've mentioned earlier the Battle of the Retribution, but this time around for ONIC Philippines, they secured that on the Lord, and at the same time, kudos to their support as well, to their jungler, of course, because of the positioning that they had. They were able to zone out King Kong actually, and was forced to go away on that objective. Now, looking at the items, it is 100 lead, or more than 100 lead for the Claude, and that is a maximization as well of the Aver spell. And for TNC right now, they have the opportunity, they have the kit to defend this Lord, but at the same time, they really have to defend this middle lane, or else majority of the buffs will be taken here by ONIC.
This is why you want to fight early on right now. If you have a good advantage, you got to take care of it.
Ooh.
Ben Things being punished over and over again by ONIC right now. Even Hesu on the Flying Dragon might be in trouble here, but yeah, ONIC can be composed. Slow and steady wins the race for the Hedgehogs.
That's hard to watch, right? Ben Things just getting layered of CC on CC, where you can't escape. You're kind of just walking. No trade.
Yeah.
You're there looking at your teammates like, it's all right, guys. Live to fight another day. So they still have to deal with the Lord, by the way, that's taking down these tier 2 turrets. So TNC finding themselves in a dire situation here, 6K gold behind. Is there hope here for TNC, Chantel, to bring this game, let's say, another 5 to 10 minutes here?
When we say hope, yes, because they have the Farsa. When we say about minion wave management, TNC has that. They have the bombs or the rockets from Innocent, even a better airstrike. So a clear of minion wave won't be a problem for this team. But with the pressure that ONIC has been dealing with, it's a lot to take for TNC. Now again, if we go back to the itemization here of ONIC Philippines, they also have the Athena shield actually for Keke. It's a lot easier for him to go in for the Denuminum Blast here. And Nex has the Malefic Roar. So just imagine the damage. We speak of damage.
Yeah.
Already half on live with a fair airstrike from Escalar. So a good synchronization of skills from TNC could switch things around for the team.
Actually, at 12 minutes, that's almost full items.
Yep.
His last slot is the pants, the legendary pants. That's all he needs to
Not
remove.
unless he changes it into something like a Gradure type of equipment, or maybe the Immortality if they
Yeah,
just really
for
want to be
sure.
safe. Here's the thing now. For Innocent, he already has the Demon Hunter Sword. So this is an item that is for the anti-tank. So good against Fredrin and even the Lolita. If given the enough space for Innocent, this could be the switch here for TNC.
That's the biggest thing, though. Like, the question is space. Does, Innocent even get the space that he wants to work with? Because right now, the tools being thrown at him, the entire kit that ONIC Philippines has across the board, like, that's what we're seeing. Innocent doesn't have much room to work with.
Yeah.
Because he's got to worry about Super Prince just traveling over walls, and also Ryota making a beeline toward the back line, looking for a final slash, and then you got to avoid a blazing duet rush. So, there's so much here. And look at that. King Kong is whittled down.
Look at that. ONIC says, no space for you. Space is for astronauts. We're going to go in, and we're going to go in hard.
King
And
Kong?
taking up that Lord. Man, King Kong's in trouble here. Ryota jumping in on the two members of TNC. No fear whatsoever. Diving in on the bad guy. The follow-up doing the blast. It's canceled, but it doesn't matter. They're diving in. They got the power of the Cult Altar, and they're going to wipe it out. Escalera all alone.
And just to cement that play, even the Cult Altar has been used here by Super Prince to deal damage against TNC. That is a 4 against none in terms of the trades. And we also have that Finish Shield here for Nets. And it is really
look at
ONIC pushing against TNC.
And Tensui, he just wants to tank it, flicker in by Super Prince. Just
They got
show
no
off
minions.
here.
Oh, now
no
they
minions,
do.
but they will arrive just in time for the clear. 14 minutes in. It's ONIC time for game number 1.
Well, that's how you end a game there when you have a lead that massive. ONIC Philippines making quick work here of TNC again. The momentum that they had. My goodness, ONIC Philippines here to play tonight. Chantel.
I kind of feel like actually for TNC, since they've been dealing a lot in terms of attention, the majority of the teams right now that they're up against is really studying the potential and even the strategy of TNC Pro Team as to why ONIC here is really prepared for this game.
That was, you just watch it unfold, and you see CC after CC laid upon TNC, and that's the thing.
So good.
It was perfectly planned. Like, that draft was so good because of the fact that you had so much pressure to the back line, but you also had so much either peel or initiation. Like, that was something that TNC actually was. It felt like they were struggling to catch their breath against ONIC Philippines.
And if you're ONIC, you knew that Nets was in a good position. They were communicating, you know what? I'm good. My items are really good right now. Maybe it's time to go win. 12 minutes in. I don't care if it's not late game. Let's go and finish it.
I kind of feel like this is one of the shorter games.
Yeah, it
this
is.
after
Surprisingly.
the second round, surprisingly, because we've seen a 37 minutes and a lot more longer games this season, and it's really ONIC Philippines being prepared on this game.
And Chantel's usually a magnet for a free game
For long-
series,
yeah.
5
This is a
game
short
series.
game.
This is surprisingly
Yeah.
short.
Is that the Chantel curse?
Yeah, that's a Chantel curse.
Well, either way, it's not to say that TNC is completely out of it. It is 1-0 right now. But that does mean,
Yeah.
as we talk again on the situation here, they can't lose. They can't lose
Exactly.
because their lives are on the line for a playoff spot. And I feel like that time they just had against the draft that was given to them, they had a bad draft here. So with all that said, I'm sure Chantel has more to say and exactly, how those pants helped ONIC Philippines get that win.
From France to New Jeans, of course, by ONIC Philippines on game number 1 as they defeat TNC Pro Team. Again, it's all about execution and the hero composition that they had on the game. Again, they wanted to go for the early game. They had it in terms of the hero composition, having the Fredrin and even this Faramis and Lolita. When we say this type of lineup, they really want to go for the crowd control. Again, with the Faramis, you also have the Shadow Stampede and the Cult Altar to actually extend the team fight. With 118 KDA for Super Prince, it was a lot easier for ONIC Philippines to set up those team fights, and it was a difficult fight for Hesu actually up against this Arlott. Again, Arlott has the crowd control, yes, with the final slash. Even the Yuzhong has the crowd control, but the difference is the displacement in terms of this crowd control. So majority of the turrets, actually, there's no turret pushed by the side of TNC Pro Team on that game. Damage to turret definitely will go onto the side of ONIC, so there's no really conversion in terms of objectives. And if we look at the team fight participation of the whole Sonic squad, majority of them is really part of the objective, having 100% for Sensui. We've discussed earlier during the draft and the pre-game discussion, the battle in terms of the retributions. Yes, there has been a battle between Sensui and King Kong, but at the same time, it was the support of the whole ONIC squad that made them the winner of this game. Having Nets as the ace of this game, full performance, but again, we've mentioned a lot of times, and even the previous weeks, the performance of Ryota, Atoy are actually on this Arlott game, 317 KDA, a gold per minute of 628. And look at that. Kill participation of 91%. Imagine you're an XP laner. You're expected to be the dead lane. But since you are 91%, it's as if you're giving an XP lane buff for the rest of the team, having the Hunter Strike, Dominance Eyes, and even the Blade Armor Ear for the item. So you want to go for the initiation. You want to go for the zone out potential of the team. As to why ONIC Philippines didn't give TNC Pro Team the breather here on this game. It all started with the first blood actually on this game. Again, there's a lot of hold with the Numenum Blast, and the follow-up again is really on point for ONIC Philippines on this game. Even the itemization, they really look forward on those bursts